once this kicks on, has a lag time. Come on, hurry up. There we go. Okay, click that button. Move this over here. Move that over here. Like so. And then make it so I can see you. Otherwise, talking to no face. Speaker. Okay. I think I did it. Hold on. Where did you go? You disappeared. Let's move you over there and move this thing down. And okay, I think I did it. Yep, I've done it. By George, I've done it. Okay. Yay. Hello, Mystic Road. Okay, I'm here, Kyra. I'm ready.
Okay. So, I've been taking a break.
Yeah.
Spirit doesn't care.
Of course.
So I'm in a situation that's never happened to me before in this way, where, we focus on the feeling. So the feeling, boom, okay, that's happening when Spirit's coming to me. But I'm not used to not having a sitter or at least someone I know that has a connection with this person. And it's happened 4 times since I stopped, or after I moved and everything got calmed down, where I can feel them coming in to my energy. And the first time, but I'm not like connecting with them. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, you're aware of them, but you're not like engaging it.
I'm not engaging. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, around Christmas, New Year's, Christmas, someone was hanging around. I'm like, okay, like, and they're not leaving, like they're hanging around. And then later I find out who it is, right? And then, so it keeps repeating. The second time it was someone where that I'm going to visit that I just mentioned earlier. I have no idea what she believes. And I felt someone hanging around, but because I wasn't connecting, I kind of was in denial. I didn't want to believe it was her son, because it just was a tragic situation. And so then he really, I say, hit me over the head. Or like, I felt like he did a full blend with me. Anyways, I talk a lot. The point is, since I'm not connecting with them, I eventually figure out who it is through, means but I feel like I feel disappointed because I have not been able to give them a real specific message for the ones where I can actually approach, and of course, because of ethics, I can't just say, hey, your son came to visit me, right? So, but with like my mom's cousin, I just, I told her it was her friend, I said, you need to make her come to me. Like, I can't just, so she made that happen. There was a door open and, and then I could approach her with it. But even so, then I don't have a specific message, and it's bothering me.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that you don't have a specific message is because you're not engaging the information. And so what you would do is, if this person is open to it, you don't need to come up to them and be like, here's the message. You can say, do you mind if I like just kind of sit with you, because this is going to help facilitate what he's here for. I'm aware of him. I can feel him. This is going to help facilitate that if they're open to it, right? And so then you would just sit with them, and that is when the message, or that's when the information would come. So it's not that you have to have it before you even talk to the person. They're just letting you know, I'm here and I'd like to connect.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is why I'm here.
Next my God. Problem. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's just knock them out.
I know. I mean, really, that was it. I just really, no, thank you so much. Like, I was like, whew, I just feel like a wave of relief, right?
Yeah.
Because you can understand, like, I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with it. So
exactly. And that's why we do development. That's why you did your development, and you just needed to just figure out how you use it in the real world. That if you are aware of spirit, what do you do with that? And it sounds like you're really being mindful of ethics and not, making something happen, which is great. We love that. And then, now that especially with that one where you do kind of get the door to be open, you can say, okay, so let's just, if you're okay with me sharing a message, let me see if I can make a link to him. Because it's not like when I'm connecting with the spirit, I don't get a message or anything until I'm in connection with that person. It's one thing to become aware. It's another thing to blend, right? And it's in the blending that we get the communication. Just noticing the spirit person doesn't mean much. It just means like, okay, cool, you're there, and that's cool. Like, awesome, glad you're there. Like, yeah. So you just have to give them the opportunity to connect.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. That's really it.
Yeah, amazing. Well, if anyone else also has, in any of the places that are watching, has questions about mediumship, psychic development, healing, anything like that, please let me know, and we will answer those. But while we're waiting for those questions, how has it been on your break?
Oh, it's good. I realized a lot, different things. The number one thing was I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
On life and everything. And I've been a workaholic and all my life. And then I found myself kind of applying that to everything.
Yeah.
Again. And I just needed I need to take care of myself. It's
Good.
Take care of myself right now. But
that sometimes is one of the things that is revealed through our development and through our working, is as we have more awareness and this inner awareness, we tune in more to who and what we are and what we need. And so it sounds like it was really revealed to you, like, whoa, I need to take a moment. I need some time. I need to take care of myself. So that's very good. I'm glad that you were able to do that and that you're still working on that. That's fabulous.
Yeah. And I feel in my heart that I will eventually come back.
Yeah. And, we'll be here.
Development. Yeah. And you'll be there.
We'll be right here, ready for you.
Yeah.
Someone did ask if we teach animal communication. We do not teach animal communication at Oakbridge. What we try to do is things that are evidential, and not that animal communication can't be evidential. We just don't specifically teach that. That doesn't mean that can't happen, learning the things that we learn. But we don't have like a method to show or teach that specifically. But developing your sensitivity, developing your mediumistic awareness, spirits, the spirit of animals come through. That's different though from like a living animal. That I think you would connect in more psychically to that. So that might happen more through that. Do you know a legitimate teacher who I would recommend? Kyra does, apparently.
Yeah, and I have a question around that as well. I have taken a class in animal communication, and I have been practicing that on my trips, and with my cat. I first discovered it actually works with my cat. Long story, but works really well with insects and birds, and that's really easy to do. My dog will not listen to me, all. Act like I'm not talking to her all. But I will tell you, I did take it with animal communicator Meredith.
Okay.
And I can't remember her name, but you can find her on Instagram. I'm not selling any one person. I'm just letting you know whom I took a class with. Sure. But I do have a question for you, Michael, on this.
Before you keep going, hang on. Well, let me just say this one thing. So just so anyone who's watching knows, that is not us as Oakbridge endorsing this person. This is just a student who has taken that and is sharing their experience. That's not us endorsing it. So I just want to be really clear that if you do take from this person, I've never done that. So I don't know if that's how that is, but I trust that people will have their experience. And because I used to have someone, but unfortunately they passed away, that I would send people to, but not anymore. So that's that. But anyway, your question, Kyra.
Yeah. So I was curious because I also did some very minor mentoring on her for pet mediumship. Mm-hmm. And she gave me photos, and it was the first time I'd done it. I was, of course, this when you have no expectations, did great. But I still remember what you taught us about between psychism and mediumship is if you don't feel spirit, you're probably doing a psychic reading. And so now I'm wondering with these pets, because when I was reading, looking at the photos and writing down my information that was coming through, I was not feeling spirit. So now I'm wondering, was I doing psychism readings on them? And if so, wow, I've never done that before either.
Yeah. So the way you would do that with a picture, if you were doing this even with a physical person, is that you'd have the picture as sort of the like focal point, but it's not actually used. So you're not actually looking at the picture and feeling it. You just have a moment. That's your moment to click into that. And now you wait with your intention until presence comes with the information. So you have to actually feel the presence of that communicator drawing close to you. Now, if you don't have that and you are able to kind of tune into the picture and all that sort of thing, it's a very good chance you were connecting in psychically. So when you work mediumistically, it's not just I have information because I looked at this picture. It's I feel a presence that's now here because I looked at this picture, and that's what's giving me the information. So that's how you differentiate that, and that's how you would do that. Even if you were using a picture of a living person, you'd wait till you could feel presence of that loved one.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. So now I know it wasn't mediumship.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, psychism is fucking awesome. I love psychism.
No, this is cool because I never knew I could do that. So hey,
100%. Someone asked, how can I become better at distinguishing between psychic unspoken intention and invasive thoughts? When you say psychic unspoken intention, what do you mean, Anne-Marie? That's what I need to understand. And you're welcome to come up here if that will be easier. If you want to come up on the live, you can do that too, if that's easier to explain. Because I know that typing in the chat is very limited. So I'm just going to give her a second and see what she does. But yeah, it's a good to have that distinction between how you do that, because people can take pictures of people at any time and start reading that psychically. Like that's the thing, you can do a whole mediumship reading psychically. It's not really mediumship because you don't have a sense of presence. When someone tells you something but you feel they are not being honest. So now let me go back to your original question. So how can I become better at distinguishing between psychic unspoken intention and invasive thought? I kind of need a little more context, unfortunately, Anne-Marie. You're going to probably have to come up here and explain a little bit more of what you mean, because otherwise I'm not going to fully feel like I can answer that. Yeah, come up. How would you structure a practice psychic reading? Would I just get sensitive the same way and wait? Yes, you would need like a target or something. So you would need to be aware of like what you're wanting to read. Are you reading a person, place, or an object? It depends on what you're working on, because psychism is so varied. So did you have some sort of specific psychic thing you're trying to read? Because then I can give you something for that specifically. Hello.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. So please share with me your question.
I don't know how to word it. So I've been developing psychically. It seems to be coming in naturally for me. And sometimes not intentionally, just having conversation with coworkers, friends, family, you feel like they're not telling the full truth about something, or they're white lies, right? Or just not being truthful. But sometimes, how do you know you're just not in your head? Like, it's just, how do you know you're not having an invasive thought?
Yeah. That's a good one. It's hard to describe because I think it'll be slightly different for everyone. There's a sort of a truth knowing that you get that sort of happens when it's your intuition being like, oh, no. You know, there's even because you're specifically discussing living people and interacting with living people, I feel like it's a lot more natural than we think. I think that's more familiar. So like when we're interacting with people, we can feel their energy all the time. I mean, it extends out from us. It's like we can really get into that. And the more sensitive you become, the more obvious that's going to become. And so being able to notice that difference between what is the spirit world and what is you, I'm sorry, not the spirit world, what is your intuition and what's your mind is, I think, more and more obvious because you will usually find something that validates the way that you feel. So when you have experienced that feeling, did you ever get validated later by it? You were like, yeah, that person was lying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So remember how that came to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is likely going to be your sort of clue as to what it feels like when it's genuine. Versus, have you ever had an instance where you thought something was going on and it wasn't going on? Right? Then you have to compare it to that and see how does that feel. So we use our experiences to actually teach us how our awareness works. So it's kind of
that makes a lot of sense because there is a different feeling, and when you hear somebody give you an answer to something, or just to, like, in general, like, oh, are you okay? When you ask somebody, oh, are you okay today? And you just know they're saying, yeah, I'm fine, but you just know they're not, right? That's a psychic hit. And this is just like a small example.
yeah, absolutely.
But you just know, right?
And even I would adjust that even a little bit softer instead of even being psychic. It's like intuitive. Like I feel like sensitive people can feel intuitively social interactions. Like psychic for me is a little bit further beyond just physical interaction. It's being able to know things based off of no data or information or stimulus or input. Intuitive is a little bit more interactive. It's I can feel when you interact with me that something's off with you, right? So there's an intuitive feeling there. So I would differentiate those slightly.
Yes.
Like if I do a psychic reading for someone, I'm not going off of things they're saying. I'm not going off of things that they're doing. I'm literally just sitting in their energy, and their energy's telling me all about their life. Right? That's very different from someone's lying to you and you can feel the difference.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I call that more of like an intuitive sort of thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hopefully that's helpful.
It is, because I didn't realize, like, the couple things that have happened to me recently, like with a coworker, and it just left me thinking there's something not right about her answer. And it feels different than when it's me having an invasive thought of, being afraid of being rejected or not accepted or things like that. It feels very different when it's my own fear making me think it's me, I'm the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for answering my question.
Jess, did you want to follow up on that? How would you structure a practice psychic reading? Are you working with someone else, or are you working by yourself? Are you reading a person, place, or thing? Hello, Melly. Hello, Ellen. That's what we want to know. What are you working with on that? So I'm just answering questions on psychic mediumship, development, healing, spirituality, this sort of thing, Random question: is there such a thing as a low vibration spirit? I guess it depends on how you define that. I would say no. I don't believe that there are like low vibration spirits that are like negative in any way. Like I think that that's what people usually mean when they say that, some sort of negative spirit. And no, so I would say no. Are there spirits that are more evolved than me and us and our awareness and our consciousness? Absolutely. So there is some level of a hierarchy of awareness and knowledge that happens, I think, through development and evolution. But I don't know that there's like low vibration as in like negative or bad spirits or anything like that. I think you answered it. I do practice readings with others, developing. So I guess I would just ask what area they want a reading on. So the way that I would actually teach it, you did foundations 3 with us, right? So we did do a little bit of that. I could have sworn at least the foundations 3. And we did work with color. So when I'm working with someone, I don't ask them what area that they want me to read. I don't ask them any information about that. What I do is I open my awareness to the feeling of, the awareness of the colors that arise when I connect in with this person. That's what I pay attention to. And I allow that to inform my reading. So I might see, a few different colors starting off with either describing the person or describing their life. Your first sort of goal when you are connecting in psychically is to connect accurately to the person. And that's only going to happen by describing either the individual or describing what's going on in their life. And then that's going to tell you that you're in their energy. Once you're in their energy, then you kind of let the reading kind of take you to what is important. You don't even have to ask that. It'll just naturally start to take you to what area of life is important that they need to be speaking about. So yeah, I mean, when I connect with someone, I'm either going to start talking about themselves and who they are, and then allow it to unfold, or I'm going to talk about things that I'm aware of going on in that person's life. And then we let it lead me where it needs to go. So I don't have like a agenda of what I want to cover myself. Lots of low vibe, bad energy people. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people who are living in a certain mindset that can be improved. I would say that. Vibration just couldn't understand. But I also try to view things in the sense of what happened to them, and they are damaged goods, and what are they trying to work through and figure out? And yeah. Vibration just couldn't understand what she meant by low vibration. Okay, got it. Oh, that's right. I remember this, and let it unfold. Yes. So that's how you would practice with a practice psychic reading. Other questions about mediumship or psychic development? I should be on later tonight to do readings. Yeah, and I already worked out today, so I hopefully won't be tired then. Well, I've already done that and rested a little bit, and yeah. The astrology last time was cool. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that you thought so. Yeah, it's a fun little ditty. Early in development, is there a way to improve clairvoyance? It's my weakest clair. I mean, yes. Just honestly intention, just saying to the spirit world, hey, can you give me a picture that will be connected to this? That being said, mediumship for me is not very clairvoyant. Psychism is very clairvoyant for me. Mediumship is not at all. So I get pictures, but they're very seldom like exactly what I need to say. It's usually the feeling that is accurate, and the picture is just my brain creating an image. However, there are times where I do see an image, for example, getting a sense of seeing a lake, like the view of a lake, And then I had the feeling that this is a street name. So I knew that this was Lakeview, right? So that is definitely how you would use that, right? So you get a clairvoyant image, and then you let the feeling tell you the context of what that means. But yeah, you can just send the thought to your spirit helpers and say, hey, spirit helpers, help me to understand, help me to work with my clairvoyance. Please give me more pictures. Can we try psychism tonight? Yeah, we can probably try psychism tonight. I love psychism. Really, psychism so far has been all feeling for me, and I'm like, can you show me shit, please? Yeah. No, and it can be all feeling too. I mean, there is no right or wrong way to do either of these things. The only thing is, I would say you do want to have feeling involved in your mediumship, because if you don't have that, you'll usually be very limited in your context of what you're getting. So yeah, that makes sense to me. Oh, sorry, Kyra, I didn't see your hand up. I don't know how long you had it up. You disappeared behind the other screen.
No, it's fine. But related to what you were talking about, the images, because for me, getting the images is so much easier than getting the feelings behind images. Or like when you talk about stuff to me, like I felt like it was a street name or whatever. I can't remember what you said. To me, it's like I don't feel anything like I will see a street name, you know what I mean? And then maybe claircognizant will throw me a name. But that's it's just that's more hard for me. And it's not that feeling is not hard, right? I can feel spirit, I can feel their personality and everything, but I'm just curious on your feelings on that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if I think about what it feels like anything really, like if I think about what like complex math feels like, right? If I think about complex math, I know what that feels like. Like there's a feeling that I feel with complex math. If I get a feeling about what this like a stock market feels like, there's a feeling of stock market, right? So if I say stock market, you can feel something about what that feels like to you. And that's all you're doing. You're using references of how something feels to you. So if I say the Amazon rainforest, I get a feeling about what it's like to be in the Amazon rainforest, or even the concept of Amazon rainforest has a feeling, right? It's an experience. It's not necessarily emotion, but it's just like an experience, what it feels like to experience something. Sitting on Santa's knee, that has a feeling to it. You know what I'm saying? So That's what I mean when I say this feels like a street name or a place, the name of a place, right? So, and I might even get a picture with that. I might see, the Lakeview thing and then feel like place, like a feeling of place. And then I go, oh, this is a place. So this is a name of a place, right? And so it's like, it's not the picture that I'm seeing. It's not about being at a lake. That feels different. When they're referring to being at a lake, I get a feeling about what it feels like to be at a lake. So that's how you do it. That's what we mean by what's the feeling, what's the context that comes from that. Same thing if we were talking about a kind of experience that someone has. So if someone had, a very exciting, fun experience, that's going to feel one way versus someone that had maybe a more negative or challenging experience or a car accident or something like that, right? So it's like all of this happens with this sort of like internal tug that draws you one way or another. And so that's what you're feeling for. When you see something, I see rubber duck, right? It's rubber duck and I'm in a bathtub and this feels like a memory. Or it's rubber duck and I'm feeling like the rubber is the important part. I want to talk about rubber. Or maybe I'm seeing rubber duck and I feel factory. Okay, this is something like the play people that make children's toys, right? So it kind of comes together. Does that help at all, Kyra?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think it's just a matter of me working on and trying to also tap into the feeling that comes with the image.
Yeah, and I think that when you're just sticking with the feeling the entirety of the time an image comes, you'll find that it's so much easier rather than I have an image and now let me go search for the feeling. So that's why we're always saying keep that constant feeling ticker tape as the most important part of your reading because it provides so much extra information. And then if pictures come on top of that, if sounds come on top of that, great. Because I already know what this is, and this is adding more detail. But I think it's a lot harder when I just stick with my pictures and I don't have the feeling already there.
Right.
Because then when you have feeling, it's changing, it's evolving, it's moving the whole time, and you're just kind of moving with that feeling.
That helps. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. My pleasure. I think I'm going to head out earlier today. I know I started later. I'm leaving earlier. I do have another class that I have to do after this. And I'm going to try to shower really quick because I went to the gym and I need to shower. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I will be on later tonight, either 6:30 or 7 Pacific. I'll be doing readings, and someone asked me to do psychic readings, so maybe I'll do psychic readings. Who knows what we're going to do? But come and check it out. So wherever you're watching me now is where I'll be again, except for Kyra, where I won't be on Zoom. But I will be on the Tickety Talks and Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and I look forward to seeing you later.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
Bye.
Good to see you.